Hey there, viewers. Welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. Got the 2005 Buick LeSabre. It's got the big 3.8 money lights on. All tails hooked up. It's over there scanning, doing its thing. Once that's done, we'll see what code it has in it. Probably an EVAP code because it's a Buick. And not a whole lot of things go wrong with these, but lots of EVAP trouble. So we'll find out and then we'll see what's wrong with it. I wasn't too far off, was I? So what do we have here? Large EVAP light. So your classic P0455. That was the only code in it, oddly enough. So we're gonna pop into the control unit, go right to the powertrain. We already know what the code is, so let's go into live data, see if we can learn something here. And then we'll go into evaporative emissions, would be a good place to start. We just wanna see, does our fuel tank pressure sensor work? And it appears to, so 1.47 volts, 1.5 is, close to where it should be. The EVAP fault history is from a weak vacuum, or at least that's how the PCM perceives it. Shouldn't really be anything else in here that we need to know about. So let's think about this. We have a large leak, and that could be caused from, from weak vacuum, from no purge function. It could be caused from an actual leak. It could be caused from a missing gas cap. Lots of different things, but what the PCM is actually looking for is it closes the canister vent valve. So, that'll have to close, then it will draw a purge on it with the purge valve, and then it needs to see change in fuel tank pressure. So we have 3 items there that need to work. So let's do this. Let's back out. We're gonna go to some function tests here, or active tests maybe, go to engine. And then we want to find the canister vent valve. We want to see if we can hear it. It's kind of noisy in here today, but let's see if we can hear it. I don't know if you guys can, but I hear it clunking away back there. So we turn it on, and essentially if the system were sealed, on a warm day like today, it's, first week in November, but it's still pretty warm out. It's in the 70s today, I think. We would see this building pressure. Our fuel tank pressure would change with the canister vent valve closed. Some natural vacuum or natural leak detection. It would, start to increase as the fuel is volatile. But we can see there's no change there. But we definitely hear it, so that's interesting. Let's take and start it up real quick. Okay, let's close the vent valve. And we see it's immediately getting drawn into a vacuum, but our purge is not even turned on. So let's open it. We go back to atmospheric pressure. Our purge valve is not on. We should have no vacuum on the system. We close the vent valve. We shut the back door. But the old purge valve's up there giving her a little sucky because we're drawing it into a vacuum. So there, just like that, we diagnosed it right from the driver's seat. Let's unenhance. Let's go up and give it a whack with a screwdriver. So there it is. What's this down there? Whoop, easy there, fella. It appears to be, looks original to me. Nice and dusty. We're gonna give her one of these. Like I say, right now you can see that it's still trying to pull it into a vacuum. However, it's not being commanded on, so it shouldn't. Let's see if that fixed it. Look at that, we fixed it. It's no longer drawing it into a vacuum because we closed the vent valve, so it's no longer venting. But we can see that it's not drawing it into a vacuum anymore. So look at that, the old fans are like, hey, we get every one of those. So that's all it needs is a canister purge valve. So let's do this. Let's turn this off. So now we're back venting to the atmosphere. Let's shut the engine off. And right there. Now we're going to key back on. So we're key on, engine off. I said it's in the 70s. It's 68 in here. It feels like it's the 70s. So now I'm going to close the vent valve. So now that it's closed, my assumption is it's going to start to build pressure, but I could be wrong because it may not be quite warm enough. The reason it wasn't before is because our vent valve here, our purge valve, was stuck open. Now we still may have other leaks because it is closed, but I don't see a rapid increase in pressure. I'm going to order a purge valve because we know it's bad. I'll leave that closed here for the few minutes while I do that, and we'll come back and check to see if we have an increase in pressure. All right, I ordered one from Chevrolet. I won't have it till Tuesday. Today's Friday. So the only one Napa had was the Dorman one, and I don't want to play the stupid game. If that one's been on there since 05, we're just going to get it OEM because it's only $8 more than aftermarket, so we'll get the brand new OEM. However, the good news is, in the few minutes it took us to call a Chevy, if I can get this out of glare, you can see we are starting to build pressure, albeit not a ton, but some. So when I open this, it should go back into, you know, 0 atmospheric. So it just opened and we're back to atmospheric pressure. So that tells us a lot. You know, might not seem like much to you guys, but it tells us A, the system is sealed, it works perfect, and B, it's sealed and works perfect. I don't know what all it tells us. It tells us that it's sealed and it has the ability to build pressure on its own, even though the car doesn't utilize that as any part of its diagnostics. We can use it as our diagnostics because we know that the car indeed has no leaks in the EVAP system, but we just have a crappy purge valve because we could see that, and we figured this all out in like a minute. So that's it. We just we move on with our life now. We'll put the cover back on. We hand the customer his keys and say, hey, you come see me on Tuesday, fella, and I'll pop that on for you out in the parking lot. And he's happy, and I'm happy, and you're happy. At least I hope you're happy, folks. So kind of a cheesy video, easy, you know, Diag on this thing. And I hope it kind of gives you guys at least a little insight if you're working on, you know, GM or any other EVAP systems. I mean, GM probably has the #1 most failure-prone EVAP system on the planet. And they do. I mean, it's just a matter of fact. Doesn't matter where you live, all the EVAP systems on these things are broke. But beyond that, the best part about them is they're a really simple system to work. However, we get a ton of these cars and trucks in from other shops, which I don't understand, to fix EVAP problems. And there's only 3 components, kind of. I mean, you have your purge, your vent, your fuel tank pressure sensor. All 3 of those things have to work. And then the system has to seal. And that's about it. And, you know, it can't be plugged. You know, there are some oddities that you'll run into now and then, but if you can fix these, I mean, these EVAP systems are very similar to Ford and Honda and Nissan and Mazdas, and, you know, the only thing they're kind of different from is Toyota. They got their own little nut job thing that they do. But other than that, these are pretty simple systems, and you can find out a lot of information without even putting the car in a lift, without busting out a smoke machine, and really without getting your hands dirty. Just by knowing how they work, looking at the data, and, you know, how can you apply what you have, you know, power in your hand, you know, with a scan tool or whatever, and figuring it out. So anyhow, that's it. I'm not trying to sell you on it. However, if you'd like to buy yourself an Alta, I'm just kidding, forget about it. Go in that comment section. Questions, comments, concerns, Insta, Facebook. You guys know what to do. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.